Now, I don't want to be alarmist, but this is a problem on Amazon that you need to be aware of and keep an eye out, and it's called listing hijacking. Let's start by explaining what we mean by hijacking a listing. Someone is selling a counterfeit or similar version of your private label product. So you create your branded product, in this case with the #1 best organic bamboo wood cutting kitchen chopping board with groove, etc., by Greener Chef. And Amazon designates you as the seller and you own the buy box because you have a unique ASIN. Now, you'll likely get the sales from all customers unless somebody manually switches to another seller deliberately. So as it stands there, that's fine. But if your hijacker creates an exact copy of your listing and then prices it differently, particularly if they price it cheaper, then they will get a lot of your sales. They will have hijacked your listing. Now, they probably won't be using FBA. They'll either drop ship or self-fulfill. In this case, you can see it says ships and sold by Hijacking. But they will try and take over the buy box, often with a lower price, even if they have a fraction of your reviews. So these two listings look identical, except you can see the sellers are different. The first one, it says sold by Greener Brands and fulfilled by Amazon. And the second one, as we saw, says sold by Hijacking. Hijacking has hijacked that listing. Now, your customers may unwittingly buy the product from your hijacker, thinking they're buying your product. When it's inferior and the drawbacks to the product become apparent, they're going to blame you and your brand for the problems. And of course, you're losing sales. So if your sales stop or slow down radically, you need to check the other sellers. Now, this is something that you need to monitor continuously. It's very difficult to actually stop hijackers, but you need to be aware of the problem and you need to be looking out for it. And if somebody hijacks your listing, I'm going to explain to you what you can do about it. So before you launch, I want you to consider getting your brand properly copyrighted and your trademark registered. Get your main images copyrighted and get your content copyrighted. Now, this may cost you around $200, but it may prove to be a very worthwhile investment. You can also register your brand with Amazon. If you go to brand registration in the Amazon dashboard, and the link is brandservices.amazon.com, then you can follow the steps, which are relatively straightforward, but you will need your own website in order to register your brand with Amazon. So if your product's making you money, then this protection is, relatively speaking, a small investment. Now, you can create your own website or Shopify store and then get your customers to check out completely on your site and then use Amazon to fulfill the order, or you can send your customer to Amazon to check out. But what happens if your listing gets hijacked? What can you do about it? Well, step 1, you can review your listings regularly to make sure you don't have a problem. Prevention is always better than cure. Of course, this won't stop it, although if you do the copywriting and the branding I've mentioned already, that may go some way to stopping hijackers jumping in. Step 2, copyright your brand and then put your brand clearly and prominently on your product and packaging. And when you take your product photos, make sure the branding is very apparent. Ensure that you put your branding prominently in your photos so that the photos are clearly branded, the product's branded, and the product branding is included in the product listing and the product description. It makes it much more difficult for a hijacker to then hijack the listing. Step 3, register your brand with Amazon, as I've already talked about, brandservices.amazon.com. You will need to have your company website, and if somebody then tries to sell a counterfeit copy of your product, Amazon will take them down. Step 4, if you need to get a bit rougher here, go to cease and desist. You can contact the seller and ask them to remove the post. You'll see there's a link in their profile that says ask a question. You can, to start with, at any rate, be brief and friendly. Here's a suggested letter. Dear seller name, I have noticed that you are also selling branded product name. I have created the branded product name from scratch and have not licensed any the product nor agreed any wholesale terms to any other resellers. I own the brand and have not authorized you or anyone else to sell branded product name. If you are selling a different product while posing as branded product name, then you are selling counterfeit products, which is something Amazon takes very seriously and will shut your account down without notice. If you do not remove your product from the branded product name listing within 24 hours, I will have to contact Amazon and issue a formal cease and desist letter. This is obviously not an optimal situation for you, so I sincerely hope that you take notice of this email and remove your product listing immediately. Thank you for your prompt and timely attention. Sincerely, your name. So that's the nice sort of straightforward approach. Alternatively, you can get your attorney or your lawyer to create a cease and desist letter, or you'll create your own. I mean, they're not that difficult to draft up, but it is worth getting a real lawyer to review them and then email it and send a copy to Amazon. This might cost you $30 or so. Step 4, you can then submit a formal complaint to Amazon. It's an allegation of infringement is what Amazon call it. However, you need to do your homework. You should purchase a product from the offending seller or get somebody you know to do that so they don't connect you. And then document all the way it is counterfeit with written and with photographs, and then submit it to Amazon. Be as thorough as you can with photographs and all the details. Now, Amazon is very, very customer centric and is always seeking to protect its customers, and if it feels the customer is being compromised, Amazon will take action. Check your listings on a regular basis, particularly well in advance of the busy season. And then another alternative is there are certain online services. Just search for Amazon hijacking and listing hijackings, and you'll see them come up as sponsored links. But I don't particularly want to recommend any because I don't use any. But there are online services which will help you to alert you if hijackers are hijacking your listing, and they will also help you to take action. So that's another possible route to solving the problem. So this is the issue of people who hijack your listing to basically pinch your sales by selling your customers counterfeit, fake, substitute, inferior products. And it's something which you need to be aware of. And you, as I've shown you in this lecture, you can take steps to deal with if it happens to you.